Loving Sairams. Welcome to the regional satsang. We trust everyone is doing well with Swami's grace. Hope you are all enjoying the regional virtual satsangs. And if you are wondering for how long we're going to do these virtual satsangs, I would say probably through the end of the month of May and maybe 1 or 2 weeks into June. On that note, I'm very happy to share that efforts are on for putting together a regional retreat during the Memorial Day weekend. And in fact, it might be a multi-regional retreat. All details are going to come soon from our regional president. During this holy month of Ramadan, internalizing Swami's message is even more beneficial for spiritual growth. Today, we have a very special guest speaker, Sai brother Ravi Mariwala, who will speak on the topic, 3 Learnings During My Stay with Bhagwan. This speech will be moderated by equally popular Sai brother, Girish Jandiala. To introduce the introducer, Brother Girish was born into Sai family. He is blessed to have studied at Swami's institution from his undergraduate degree through his MBA. Girish is also the grandson of Sri Venkateshwara Sastri Garu, who is great soul, who wrote the books Tapovanam and Sai Satcharitra. Girish, with his loving family, wife Divya, and twin daughters Rio Sai and Akshara Sai, live in Greensboro, North Carolina. And they are the active members of the Sai Center and the region. With that, I turn it over to Brother Girish. Please take away from here. Sai Ram.
Om Shri Sai Ram. Offering my humble salutations to Bhagwan and loving Sai Ram to all of you. We hope everyone is safe and sound at this time and are staying home as much as you could and are in tune with Sai. Thank you, Brother Giridhar. In the words of Kahil Gibran, the glory of rainbow is seen by a few, but the story experienced by millions. While we are all fortunate to be in the Sai family, in many ways, there are a few chosen ones who have experienced the glory of Sai like none other. Today, we are fortunate to have amidst us one such chosen one in Brother Ravi Mariwala, through whose life that Bhagwan immensely blessed, the story of Sai could be experienced by many today. Brother Ravi hails from Mumbai, Maharashtra, India. As a Bal Vikas student, the SSC program as we know it, Ravi had the opportunity to speak in Bhagwan's presence. And it's during that time that he developed a strong desire to study at Swami's school. The opportunity came in 1982, and he studied there for 9 long years after that. At Swami's college, he was part of the speakers group, the chosen few, and notably the brass band. Swami had also personally chosen him to accompany him on trips to Kodai and Chennai. Probably the rarest of all, that he was the blessed recipient of 3 gold medals for distinction in Master of Sciences, MBA, and the most coveted all-rounder gold medal from Bhagwan. Swami handpicked Brother Ravi to join the Sri Sathya Sai Super Speciality Hospital in Prashantinilayam, and there he served for 14 long years. May I also mention that even before I personally interacted with Brother Ravi, I had always known him as a VIP devotee in Porti, as he was one of the handful people who had their own designated spot in Mandir for Swami's darshan, while everyone else was taking seats as first come, first serve. Ravi lives in Cary, North Carolina today with his wife Jagriti and 2 boys, Krishna and Siddharth. His parents and sister, who teaches in Sri Sathya Sai Primary School, Prashantilalayam, continue to live in Puttaparthi today. Requesting Brother Ravi to take us on the journey for the next 60 minutes or so with Bhagwan. Sai Ram. Welcome, Brother Ravi.
Thank you, brother. So nice to hear, you describing the journey that I had with Swami, but it's with a lot of gratitude and a great sense of belonging to the Sai fold that, I heard you replay my life with Swami. And I thank you all for having me share some of my thoughts in the form of the learnings that I have had while living in Bhagwan's presence. So with great, with heartfelt pranams at Bhagwan's lotus feet, I'd like to welcome all of you who are listening into this session. I hope I'm able to sincerely share many of the deep significance of what happened as we lived with Bhagwan. Because the time that we had with Bhagwan is not just memorable, it is irreplaceable. You cannot replace that situation, those memories, the feelings that passed through our hearts as we had the opportunity to interact with Bhagwan. Those are embedded in our hearts, they are imprinted, and they are also very true. They are very sincere learnings. They are touching learnings. They are heartfelt, and these are not bookish. These are not conceptual. So as a student, when I used to go to the mandir, I used to often take a book of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa or other saints, and then it took me many years to realize that the learnings that we have to be our own learnings. While we can definitely get inspired by other people's learnings, they can only fill the heart to an extent. And however well they are clad in beautiful words, they are composed in nice conversation and dialogues, but the true impact of the interaction with the master can come only when you open yourself up to him so much that you allow him to guide you on the path. And in this world, it is called the Kali Yuga, or the age of darkness and restlessness. But really speaking, all of us should feel very blessed, very, very blessed, because it is only in this age that Bhagwan came and he declared that he was the avatar. We all have blindfolded ourselves. And if he had come but not let us know, if he had not announced the fact that he is the beacon light, he is the guide and the universal teacher who was born in our time frame, we might have never known. So while we try to encapsulate some of our teaching, some of the learnings we had and Bhagwan's teachings in a few words, it's very important for you to open your hearts. This is less of a mental conversation, less of an argument, less of a discussion, and more of a sharing that is heartfelt. Because as we lived and grew around Bhagwan, as we saw more and more of who he was, how he operated, and how important his mission was to him, then we became aware of new dimensions which we had not really been sensitive to earlier on. And I also want to give you a sense of the background and the context in which, my learnings happened. Uh, if you go to a school, you start in, say, elementary school or middle school, and then you study up to a particular grade. I was very blessed that when I joined Bhagwan's College in 1982, and then I passed out from the college in 1991, I had completed 9 years at his lotus feet. But then, at a very opportune time, instead of letting me go out into the wide world and to build a career, Bhagwan grabbed me literally and rescued me from a mundane life by taking me into his hospital, which was only a concept at that point. So my journey started with him in his direct presence in 1982, and in 1991 I joined the hospital, and then I served there till 2005. But what is important is my first very meaningful interaction with Bhagwan was in the year 79, when I had the chance to speak in his presence. And uh, I'll just share a quick picture of that interaction. One second. I was a Mumbai boy, and I was going astray in my school and in the company I was keeping. I was not living up to Swami's expectations. But when I joined the Balvikas, or SSE as you know it here, I had a, a very wonderful set of Balvikas teachers who constantly inspired me. And at that point, I took a vow to mend my ways and to change and to walk the path that Swami, had laid out before us. And it's important for you to understand that, because everybody feels that, oh, you went to Swami's college and, so it's okay, you followed Swami. But for me, it's more important that even before I joined Swami's college, I felt the call. I, I felt that here is somebody who's very different from everything else you can get in the world. When I went to Dharmakshetra, I was very disinterested, and I was literally the last person sitting in Dharmakshetra. As you can imagine, Dharmakshetra is a place where 15-20,000 people used to come. And literally, I was the last person at the end of Dharmakshetra. But when Swami came out, and he was very young, he was very vibrant, when he came down the aisle, he looked at me. I was this little boy sitting far back, disinterested, completely unintroduced to Bhagwan and his ways. And he stood there and he waved his hands. And at that moment, though I was only in my 7th grade, I was transported, and I knew that this was the beginning of a very different direction in my own life. And from there onwards, as I decided to change my ways, I got this opportunity to speak in front of Bhagwan. I'm not able to pull up that picture for some reason. But as I spoke in Bhagwan's presence, Swami kept on looking at me on the stage. And then he made me sit down at his side, and he kept on rubbing my back. And when I look back, I think, he was getting rid of all the Mumbai feelings, the Mumbai thoughts, and he was preparing me to join his college. To cut to the chase, when I want to share what all happened from the time that I did my SSC in Mumbai, then I joined Swami's College in 82. I finished my studies. Incidentally, I did 2 postgraduate courses. I did my master's in science. Then Swami asked me to do my MBA. And then, like brother said, I was given by Swami's grace 3 gold medals from Swami's own hands. Then I went on to serve for 14 years in Bhagwan's temple of healing, which is also called the super specialty hospital. So the first learning I would like to share with all of you is the importance of obedience in our lives. And I like to use a short form for myself to remember it always. I say OIK, obedience is key. OIK, or obedience is key. Because without obedience, without that alignment with Swami, I would have gone astray. And even after I joined Swami's college, I discovered new layers of the word obedience, new depth of obedience that was demanded of me, that was required of me if I wanted to walk this path in a sincere way. And I'll tell you one quick incident which is both humorous but meaningful. So Swami had called me into the interview room. This was in the year 1990. And I had, as I went and sat at Bhagwan's feet in the interview room, there were 7 or 8 of us he had called in. Swami started admonishing me. Normally the interview room, you have very pleasant experiences. But Swami started, showing his irritation. He was angry. And I couldn't, for a few seconds, I couldn't even understand what was it that I had done that was, making me incur this anger, so to speak. And then Swami pointed to my hair and said, "You're having such long hair. Don't you know that you are a Sai student? And I want only 3 things from you. I want you to wear white clothes. I want you to be clean shaven. And I want you to have trim hair." And you won't believe it. I was sitting like this in front of Bhagwan, but I only knew that it had not been 2 full days since my last haircut. And so without, involuntarily my hand went to the back of my head because I knew that I had a fresh haircut and what was Bhagwan actually saying. But by then, after having spent several years at Bhagwan's lotus feet, I had learned that it's good not to challenge Bhagwan, but to listen to what he is saying and to take it all in and then to respond rather than to react. So I was in tears, and I didn't know how to get past these difficult moments, but I said, I just agreed with him. And then fortunately, Swami changed the topic and then talked about other things. But after the interview, I had only one mission in life. That was to get a barber, go to a salon and have a haircut. While everybody else went around their lives in a normal way, that was the single most important thing for me. Because I knew that less than 24 hours later, I would have to come back to the mandir for darshan. But this time I needed to have a very trim look and a very clean look. So in the next morning when I went to the barber was surprised. And he said, "Sir, ninnane ochar miru, you came only yesterday." So I said, "Don't worry, just cut my hair, cut it short, cut it deep." And I went to college, and then in the evening I went back to the mandir. And I want you to clearly understand, while these incidents may look trivial, they may look puzzling to some extent, but understand the context in which Swami was guiding us and teaching us. And when the boys used to march in the mandir, there would be a thundering noise because 400 footsteps, 400 boys would be marching in, each trying to grab their place in the mandir. And Swami was sitting inside, and immediately when he heard us, he came out, and I was sitting in a particular place. He beckoned to me to come in to the interview room, and I was sitting with Bhagwan alone. And I was now, because Swami says, love my uncertainty. So we don't know what is going to come from the divine mouth this time, right? The last time I was taken aback and, Bhagwan pointed to my long hair, which was not long. So I was ready for anything, and I knew that I had to be fully in a state of equilibrium. And that is when the jewel of teaching fell from his mouth, from his tongue. And he said, very good. I'm very happy with you. And he said, Kya da Mari? He used to call me Mari for short form. I have a long surname Mariwala. And he said, Kya da Mari? Do you think I wanted you to have a second haircut? No, not at all. And then he said, I am that master who will never tell you the next step that you have to do in your journey until I am fully satisfied with the first step that I have asked you to take. And at that moment, everything sank in, and the significance of a seemingly trivial event became so clear in my mind. And that has remained as one of the most important guiding principles of my life. That whenever I think that, no, I'm ready for this, or I'm ready for that, or I want to do this, I pause in my mind and I say, Swami, but whatever you asked me to do in the past, have I fulfilled those commands that you gave me to your satisfaction? And this is, we don't look for the satisfaction of anybody else. We don't work for anybody outside of other than Bhagwan himself. So this is a very sweet incident that is etched in my memory. And I learned over there that as we go through the stages of journey in our life, we have to look back and see, okay, you and I think that I'm ready for this or ready for that. But what does Swami think? Does Swami think that you have fulfilled the little commands that he gave you? And Bhagwan is waiting to promote us to the next grade, to give us the next lesson and the next challenge. But he needs to be completely satisfied that we have obeyed him fully. Though this was a small incident during my student years, later on, this led to the practice of obedience becoming an actual practice. Because I had learned that however trivial, however seemingly illogical a command may seem, if I really accept Bhagwan, Swami, as my guru, I should put my head down and follow that command. And I should not put myself before that command. I should not use my own head to interpret the command. If I had interpreted it, I would have said, oh, how can you have 2 haircuts in 2 days? But because we were students and we trusted Bhagwan fully, in this small matter, I trusted him and I did not use my own argumentation and logic. And very soon, about a year later, the next command was going to come and Bhagwan was going to wait and see if I would obey him. So I was finishing my MBA and I who had forever wanted to be around Bhagwan and give my life to service, to working around Bhagwan, being around Bhagwan, I got this, what Swami used to call Vishaya Vasana. I got attracted by the world. Vishaya is objects, and Vasana is tendency or craving for them. So up until the time I was coming to the finish of my MBA, I was all devoted. But when the MBA degree was getting over, suddenly I got this feeling that, oh, I'm going to go out into the world. I'll become a big manager. I'll do XYZ. I'll earn a lot of money. I had forgotten my own inner resolve to stay with Bhagwan, to serve him, and to do what Swami says is the meaning of the word Gita. Swami turns the word Gita on its head and says Tagi, Gita, Tagi. Tyag or sacrifice in however small measure is very important. But I had started to forget that very conveniently. So Swami said to me, I'm starting this hospital. Are you interested in joining it? I would like you to be a staff member in my hospital. And at that point, suddenly, I became hesitant. Swami is seeing the hesitation that I was having. And imagine, right? If Swami were to ask one of you, I'm starting this uh, organization. Would you like to join? Definitely, you would say, yes, Swami, I'm going to leave everything and join. You come first for me. But I was hesitant. And this is what happens sometimes when you are in great proximity with the avatar, with the Lord. Swami used to say, around the candle, and you can do this as an experiment, you light a flame, light a candle. And Swami used to say, right around the candle, there is a dark zone. The candle sheds light, quite a lot of light around it. But immediately under the candle, there is a dark zone. And that's why he used to often tell us, you are all frogs in the well. So Swami was not one to mince his words. And that's how the teaching has gone deep. Swami used to point to the devotees gathered around in darshan and say, they are the bees who have come to this flower, for they realize the value of the nectar. They seek the nectar in this flower, he used to say about himself. And he used to say, you are all frogs in the well. Frogs in the well, because I personally was not able to recognize the immense value of Swami. And to connect back to this OIK, or obedience is the key. After he taught me that first lesson about the double haircut, when he saw that I am hesitating to accept the opportunity to serve in his hospital as one of the first employees, I was about to lose that merit. Then he called me into the interview room, and it was only me and Bhagwan, and I was standing at the end of the interview room, and I was also shivering. I was also unsure. What is Swami going to ask of me, and will I respond in the right way or not? And Swami said, work in my hospital. That is my agya. And that is good for you, good for your family, and good for your country. And brothers and sisters, it is not important that he asked me particularly to work in the hospital. But that was the time when he was gathering together the set of resources who would be part of this most amazing and once in a lifetime effort, once in a lifetime opportunity. And because he loved us all so much, though I was starting to get deluded, he saved me and gave me the agya. The agya means command. And then very innocently he stopped. See, after somebody says it's good for you, good for your family, good for the country, who will hesitate? But even then, Swami is so humble. He stopped after saying that and said, do you accept my agya? And I could not hold my tears any longer. I had by then learned that, oh my God, I'm making this error of holding back, of showing hesitation when the Lord himself is commanding me. So I dived at Bhagwan's lotus feet and I said, Swami, what greater than for me to do palan of your agya, or compliance with your command? So I want to stop with that and see, Brother Girish, if you have any thoughts. Sorry to suddenly spring a surprise on you, but I just want to see what you think about this, because to me, the lesson of obedience unfolded through a minor, small incident, but Swami extracted that obedience more in the terms of, hey kid, today you do 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. Tomorrow, can you do 100 plus 100 is equal to 200? And I didn't know. And many times in our lives, we don't know that today I align with Swami's command, and then tomorrow that makes me fit for growth. There is this term that we use in management, fit for growth. So let me hear what you have to say about this, brother.
Sure. First of all, thank you so much for sharing. Now, I'm reminded of the saying that man plans and God laughs. But more importantly, Swami said, love my uncertainty. I think that is the key here. I'm reminded of one experience. Silesh Srivatsava, many of you know him, an ardent devotee of Swami. He is also the recipient of National Teacher Award from the President of India while Swami was there. Swami was very proud of him. A story in itself to talk about him. Quickly, one experience that he shared with us. Every time he went to Bhagwan, in a conversation that Swami called him when he would go, the conversation would go in such a way that Swami would end up raising his hand as though to pat on his cheek in a manner to say, no, that's not what I want to, like we elders do to children sometimes, not really to slap, but then to. So, and then every time he had this reaction of trying to move away when Swami was trying to put his hand on his cheek. And then just after that happens, he comes back and thinks, oh no, I actually lost an opportunity of Swami touching my cheek. So the next time he would prepare himself saying, okay, no, this time I need to be absolutely sure, live in the moment, not use my reflex, and then try to show my cheek. But then it never happened, apparently. Always, every time he had to do that, he had to come back. So his advice to us as students was just live in the moment, the uncertainty of Bhagwan, how he talks to you, how he moves you away, just be in that. There's another thought there. Swami said, Sai Vakku, Veda Vakku. I think the upgrade to that is there is no difference between Sai and Veda in itself. Sai Vakke Vedam. I mean, whatever he said is the ultimate. Sometimes the illusion comes. But I think the experience you shared, it's beautifully narrates how Swami himself creates the illusion and then Swami helps us remove
it. Yeah. That is so well put. So moving on, I wanted to share with you the second lesson that I learned, which I think is very relevant in these times. And that is that Bhagwan takes care. And the uniqueness in the way in which Bhagwan operates is so different from in the way in which we operate. So the mnemonic that I made for myself is BTCCC. Bhagwan takes care constantly and continuously. Bhagwan doesn't take care and leave. And the image that comes to my mind is, there is a beautiful picture of Swami holding a small rabbit in Vrindavan and he's holding it by the ears. And if you look at the picture, you'll say, oh, this rabbit is, Swami is holding the rabbit by the 2 ears. And then when you look at the full picture, you see that the rabbit is between the 2 hands. Swami is holding the rabbit with 2 ears, but he's kept his other hand below the rabbit. So he is going to release the rabbit from one hand into the other hand. And that is very important because Swami, he always says that I am with you, in you, around you. Me intane, ventane, jantane, right? And as a student, when I used to sit there, I was an adolescent. Half our mind was in the studies, half our mind was on Swami. And then I never could absorb fully what he meant when he said that I am going to be with you, in you, around you, and I'm going to guard you and guide you. And for that to happen, I started to see Swami's hand increasingly when I moved away from the ashram, when I came to the US, when I got married, I had a family. I could see how much Swami is guarding and guiding and protecting us. And as I said in the obedience lesson, first there was a small obedience and then there was a big obedience demand. Like that, I want to tell you how Swami takes care. And this time it's a small incident about my father. So my father had a heart attack during the time I was doing my master's in science. This was in the year 1988. And we were all very shocked and broken because, he was only 54 at that time when he had a massive heart attack. And in those days, Swami used to not really recognize me, know me very well. He didn't know my name. And we are in this illusion that, oh, Swami doesn't know me. But the timing of Swami's interaction and intervention with us is always perfect. And with much trepidation, I went in the front line and I sat with a letter, not very hopeful that Swami will even acknowledge me and take my letter and, accept my prayer that Swami should bless my father. I was just concerned, but I didn't know what to expect from Swami. Surprisingly, that day he came up to me, he took my letter, he opened it and he read it in public there. And he said, "Don't worry, call your father, I will see him." So in a few days, my father and mother came, my sister was in Anantapur. And then Swami took us into the private interview room and he asked my father to take his shirt off, materialized a profuse amount of vibhuti, and then rubbed it on my father's chest, very lovingly and for a long time. And then, like any devotee or student would have felt, we felt enormous relief, right? Well, what else do you want when you get that type of assurance, non-verbal assurance, but the vibhuti being rubbed on the chest? What other assurance do you want? And Swami then spoke to us for a long time. Then he brought us out into the main interview room, which is a larger place where the other devotees whom he had called were also there. And then, and this is very significant, this is what I want to share with you. We may think that Swami's grace and protection is there and sometimes we take it for granted. But then Swami did a very strange thing. He looked at my mother and he said, "I have rubbed the vibhuti, but what you do is you go to Mumbai, go to Bombay and get checked up. Go to a cardiologist. Who is this cardiologist? Oh, so and so. Go to him and get an angiogram done." And I was on the gent side in the interview room and I was like pulling my hair out. What is Swami saying? And I hope my mother doesn't make the mistake of saying yes to Swami. Because once Swami has given his grace, we don't need any confirmation. What external validation do we need? And anyway, that was a little concerning moment in the interview room. But I want to play back the events to you so that you can get a true sense of how Swami worked with us. It was not a straightforward way. And as he says, love my uncertainty. Don't think that things will happen in the way you expect it or the way you have heard Swami doing with others. So then we all came out of the interview room. Swami gave us prasadam, he gave us Pad Namaskar, and I came and sat in the students group. And Swami came up to me and he shook his finger at me and he said, "Dare you go to a doctor?" And at that time, the people around me were scared. The other students thought, what is Swami telling this boy? Dare you go to a doctor? But in my heart, I sank into a zone of great restfulness and peace because I felt, oh Swami, thank you, thank you, thank you. For I have aligned with you. And that alignment that I was able to get with you was natural. By spending time in your presence, I learned the lesson that if, however it may seem to the rest of the world, but I value your touch, your grace, your manifestation of the grace much more than science, than medicine, than the external world. Even if the whole world stands against us, doesn't matter. but we should hold on to our alignment with Swami. So that is the thing that I want to tell you, that following Swami, expecting his grace and his protection, his guidance and his guardianship is natural. But we should be ready by aligning with him if we have to derive the complete joy and the complete protection and the complete sense of direction that he wants to give us. And brothers, that's why I said, Bhagwan takes care. BTCCC. Bhagwan takes care continuously and constantly. This happened in 1988. Today, and I don't say this with any pride or arrogance, it is just an indication of Bhagwan's immense compassion. My father, he is now 84. He has, by Swami's grace, had no untoward event with respect to his heart health. And Swami gave us a room in the sea floor, in the second floor. And he goes up and down. He goes for every darshan and bhajan, even when Swami is not physically present. And when I visit Parthi, he puts me to shame. I sometimes can't wake up so early and go with him. But he has continuously and constantly gone to Swami, not just in a sense of routine, but with great love. And that alignment that he has developed with Swami has kept him, by that single act of Swami rubbing vibhuti on his chest way back in the year 1988. Not only that, in the year 2002, he had a major gastrointestinal event. And we went to Vrindavan. He was admitted in the hospital. And you won't believe it, brothers and sisters, but Swami sought him out in the Vrindavan crowd and for 7 consecutive days materialized vibhuti and gave it to him in his hand. And that has healed him completely. So that's what I meant when I said Swami is constantly and continuously guiding. And Swami doesn't say, oh, I did my job in 1987, it is done. He is there even today. He is not just looking after our heart health and our gastrointestinal health. He is more than anything else fostering our spiritual progress and our spiritual growth. So we should always remember that Bhagwan's actions are not incomplete and short-lived. They are not one-day wonders. Swami wants to be in our life continuously, constantly, and he wants to be helping and aiding us all the time. But that is possible only if we align with him and we also have that bhav that Swami, I depend on you. I don't want external validations. I don't want to go back to Mumbai and get a doctor to tell me that Swami healed his heart. Swami, you healed his heart. That is enough for me. I need no other confirmation. I'll pause and see if Brother Girish, you have any reactions to that.
No, but I was still lost at not lost, but then really enjoying the lesson that you have taught us through the first experience, where you said, "Test is the taste of God." So how he really prepares us over time for what we don't see as what we see as a challenge right now, but it's actually a preparation for something really very. A small incident. I used to be really like how Swami rhymes these words when Swami speaks this English, especially in English, the quotations that Swami says. So test is the taste of God was something Swami used to frequently narrate. So that was something I for some reason stuck in my head for very long. So every time there is a test in the school, so my dialogue to friends and everyone used to be, today it's a test, so it is a test, is the taste of Swami. some joke around it, and one day Swami was telling in Mandir when we were there, na dialogue repeat cheyadame kaadu, practice kuda cheyandi ani. Repeating my dialogues again and again, but even put it into practice.
Yes.
Thank you so much. But, I think that is literally the essence of it. Swami takes care of everything. Swami said, sing my name and I will install myself there. I mean, if we understand what it means, especially in the crisis that we are living right now, I think we have to all strongly believe and have that faith that yes, he will take care of us having come to God.
So true. So true. Beautiful. How much time do we have, Brother Girish?
We have another 20 minutes.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, so that's time to talk about the third lesson then, the third learning. And again, I want us all to think that, learning never ends. And Swami used to say, living with God is true education. So we continue to live with Swami. Swami is, taking us forward on this journey. And I many times feel and say this, that somewhere, maybe centuries back, maybe eons back, we signed a contract with God and said, Swami, I want to walk this path. I want to learn from you. I want to learn personally from you. I don't want to learn through concepts, through, I don't want to learn from a picture. I don't want to learn from a book. I don't want second-hand learning. And I want first-hand learning. And that is what I think we got a chance to do. So time to move to the third learning that I wanted to share with you, which is that DIC, deepen the inner connection. That became evident to me because one day Swami went to Vrindavan and he came back in in the course of a week. That was so strange because Swami would go to Vrindavan for longer durations. But all of a sudden he came back in the course of a week. And what was strange is that during that time, because I was having a lot of interaction with Swami in those years, I felt very close to Swami and I was chanting his name. I was reading good books. I was participating in the hostel bhajan and all that very animatedly, very, very, passionately. So when Swami came back, by then, I had had 3 dreams of Bhagwan in the course of just a week. And that day when Swami returned to Prashanti Nilayam, he went and sat for the bhajan. And normally, Swami never comes down from the bhajan hall because the chair is at an elevated platform. And, we all used to think Swami is a little bit tired and he will retire for the day directly. But that day, all of a sudden, he came down from the bhajan hall chair. And I was sitting a little bit at the back. There was a pillar and then there was a speaker, big, huge speaker. And I was sitting next to that and I had my eyes closed and I was singing, following the bhajan. And Swami came and stood over there and tapped my forehead. And it was very unexpected because, first of all, Swami coming down on such a day. Then he asked me to get up and he said, how many times did you have Swami's dream? And then it struck me because I was not actively, recollecting that at that moment. And I said, Swami, I had your dream 3 times. And he said, bad boy, you had my dream 4 times. And then it struck me that actually I had had a 4th dream during this 1 week. And I was not counting it as a dream, but Swami actually came one more time in my dream, just gave me namaskar and went away. And Swami gave a beautiful addendum to that statement and said, good communication, very good communication. Now, you see how topsy-turvy the conversation with Swami is, right? He came and asked me how many dreams I had had. I, who had the dreams, didn't recollect the number correctly. And then he corrected me. And then it struck me that actually I had 4 dreams. And as we all know, having a dream of Swami is a great blessing. You try as you may, You cannot get a dream of Swami by wishing it or willing it. You know, a dream, we believe, and Swami has confirmed, is a visitation by Swami. So he came 4 times in my dream during the course of that 1 week in Parthi. And he came to remind me that that was a significant event. Don't forget it. And then finally, he gave me credit and said, good communication, which was not at all true. It was expected that we should remember Swami. We were his students in Parthi. So, brothers and sisters, it's very important for us to use this incident, deepen the inner connection. DIC, deepen the inner connection. And I'll tell you 2 quick examples of different levels at which it happened. How can we deepen this inner connection? The obvious answer is by prayer. I'll tell you, once in 1990, my dad was visiting Vrindavan, and I was also in Vrindavan with Swami. And it was pouring, it was raining, and the roads had been dug up. My dad somewhere had dropped his wallet on the way back from the canteen. And when I went to the room to meet him, he said, you know what, Ravi, I lost my wallet, all my credit cards, my identification, a lot of things are gone. And I came out, I said, no, I'll go and look for it. So I went to the canteen in Vrindavan. In those days, it was a small canteen. And I asked the canteen manager, he said, no, we haven't found anything. And it was by then thunder, lightning, and a lot of rain. And as I had to literally run back to where my dad was staying. And as I ran, I told Swami, Swami, we are your devotees. You must help us. Help me now. And you will not believe it. It was raining. The roads were dug up. And before I was running, and when my next foot hit the ground, my foot landed on my dad's wallet. When you pray to Swami, there is no delay in Swami fulfilling our request. No delay in Bhagwan helping us with our challenges. I had just said that, and my next foot landed on the wallet. And I'm not exaggerating this. It was anyway pouring. I didn't have time even to thank Swami. I picked up the wallet and ran to my father's room and gave it to him. So look at the conditions in which Swami provides his grace. And it is memorable because he proves to us that however difficult your situation, however challenging your situation may be, I am equal to the task. No situation is big enough for me. No situation can defeat me. For if you call on me, I will help you to overcome, come what may. But that example was very selfish. It was very personal. It was me praying to Swami for my father's wallet. It was a demand. It was ordering Swami. I learned over the course of time that such a prayer is mean. Such a prayer is small. Swami is anyway guiding and guarding us. Why pray for such things? So the next opportunity that I got was when I served in the hospital, and I've spoken about this many times. We had an aortic valve replacement patient. He was a 67-year-old man, and we were not able to wean him after the valve had been excised and a metal valve implanted in the aorta. We weaned the patient off the heart-lung machine. I was running the heart-lung machine. I had got into the operating theater at around 9 a.m. in the morning. And at 3:30 p.m. in the evening, this patient was looking like he would not make it. So we had tried everything. We had tried inotropic drugs. We had tried to shock the heart, but the heart was flaccid. The heart was not pumping. This is open heart surgery. And at that time, my colleague came into the operating room and said, Ravi, you've been continuously stuck here from like 9:30. It's 3:30 now. Go and grab your lunch and then come back if required. So I said, okay. My lunch was waiting in the conference room away from the operating theater. So I had not even gone to the restroom from 9 o'clock to 3:30. But when I came out of the operating room, imagine that is Swami's hospital. Swami had visited that operating room countless times. All of a sudden, like a light bulb, it went off in my mind that we have tried drugs. The patient is on the heart-lung machine. He's on ventilation. We have tried shocking the heart. But why don't I call on Swami? And I stopped in the central sterilizer room in the support corridor of the operating room. And I was hungry. I needed to go to the restroom. But that time when this light bulb went off, I said, no, I cannot ignore this thought. This thought is too important. And I stood there and I just prayed very fervently to Swami. Said, Swami, this is your hospital. This patient has come for surgery to your hospital. Please cure him. And I didn't even recollect the name of the patient. Then I finished my lunch. I went to the operating room back again. And I was shocked at the sight that I saw. Everybody in the operating room, the anesthesiologist, anesthesia technician, the main cardiac surgeon, the nurse, the assistant surgeon, everybody was laughing and talking as if they're making merry. And that type of situation you see in the operating room only when there is a very simple operation and everything is going very well. And I was like shocked. I said, what are these people doing? This is a very bad situation. And then I looked up at the monitor, the cardiac monitor, and I saw the blood pressures were 140 by 85 and the arterial trace was fantastic. Then I went to the screen and I looked down at the heart and I saw that the heart was beating very well and that the whole crisis was past. And then I spoke to Dr. Neelam Desai, who is still there today in Parthi as the real pillar of the hospital. And I said, what happened, madam? And she said, we don't know. We didn't try anything new. But all of a sudden, at one point of time, the heart just came back and started beating so well that we are now closing the chest. And she asked me, did you have your lunch? And I said, I just took a step back and I thanked Swami in my mind. And I said, Swami, it is your grace that you planted that thought in my mind that pray to me. And then that event was forgotten. That patient was shifted. The patient went home. He was discharged very well. That Sunday, this happened on a Wednesday or a Thursday. That Sunday when I went to the mandir, I was sitting somewhere far back in the mandir. Swami came after the interviews. He sought me out, came right, cut into the lines, stood in front of me, materialized vibhuti. And when he was giving the vibhuti into my hands, he pressed it. And he said, ye wo patient ke liye hai, jiske liye tumne prayer kiya. This is for that patient for whom you prayed. And I said, oh my God, I am getting acknowledgement for just calling on you, oh Lord. You saved that patient from sure death. And all I did was to be a humble, small, and very late instrument. I should have called on you long before. I waited for events to transpire to come into a very difficult situation before I called on you. And even then, in a minute, you corrected the situation and you are blessing me with vibhuti. So that is the example I wanted to share with you. The first time I prayed for my father's wallet and Swami responded immediately. The second time I learned to pray for somebody else. And I'll close this learning with just a quick teaching that I heard from Bhagwan himself. One day, two of us were sitting at Swami's feet and massaging his feet. And we asked him this very question. Swami, is it a good idea to pray to God and to ask him for things? And I want to share this response with you because it is very illuminating. He said first, oh, it's very good to pray to God. It's very good. And then he said, now deshamlo, which means in Telugu, but in my opinion. See, Swami was giving his opinion as if he is one of us. He's not saying it should be like that. He's saying, in my opinion, which is an important thing for us, because when Bhagwan gives his opinion, we should all go and grab it. We should internalize it. And he said, you should only pray. You should not pray for anything. And that is a wonderful, deep, and universal teaching. Because in this universe, as Swami saw the universe, it is one. He had that what is called Ekatma Bhav. We are all united. We are one. So while we should feel the pain of other suffering creatures, those who are undergoing COVID, those who are having challenges, and we should pray, but we don't know what is good to pray for. So the best thing is to pray, to connect, to deepen that inner connection, but not to necessarily ask for this or that, to ask for marks or for promotions or for bigger house or better bank balance or for specific things. Because this is exactly what Kuchela did. He had that big list of things when he offered Krishna the beaten rice, but luckily he was tongue-tied, and even without his needing to ask anything, over there his hut was transformed into a palace. His wife saw that so much ornaments appeared. He had servants in his house. He had a massive estate around his palace. All these things were given without the verbalization or the specification to God. Because when we give a specification to God, we are assuming that we know better than Him. And Swami always said, don't say, you are mine, you are mine, you are mine, because I cannot fit in you. I cannot fit in your heart. I am universal. I am cosmic. Instead, say, I am yours. I am yours. I am yours. So I want to just stop with this in the interest of time. You know, our lives, this is just a sneak preview into what is going to unfold, right? But these three lessons are important to me. Obedience is the base. Obedience is the key. OIK. Obedience is key. Without obedience, we will be fragmented. We don't know what to do. We don't have that clear vision of what is it that we should align with. What is it that we are seeking to grow into? Obedience. Then the next one is, once you have that obedience, you allowed that foundation to form. You held on to Swami's feet by obeying his commands, because only those who obey him are dear to him, right? So once you have held on to him, then DTCCC, Bhagwan will take care continuously and constantly. BTCCC. Don't have a doubt. Don't think how he will take care, when he will take care. Do I need any confirmation that he is taking care? BTCCC. Relax. Bhagwan is taking care constantly and continuously. And then finally, what do we have to do? We don't have to. We have to do our worldly tasks. We have to look after our families. But we have to do it in a peaceful way. He is doing everything. But what is your and my task then? If he is protecting, guiding, helping, saving us from nasty situations, bad problems, then what is it that you and I have to do? We have to DIC, deepen the inner connection, dive within. Because Swami has opened up this dimension that is otherworldly. He has opened up another worldly dimension. It is not the dimension of the plants and the trees and the roads and the sensual dimension. Swami's avatarhood and the fact that he called a very small number of people, though we think there are so many Sai devotees, there are 165 countries and centers, but brothers and sisters, it's a small select group who Swami has brought to his lotus feet. And what is our task? Our task is to DIC, dive within, deepen the inner connection. And you can do that by maturing, by evolving from praying for yourself to praying for others, to not praying for anything, but just praying and just holding on to Swami, having that deep connection without any demands, either for yourself or for anybody else. I've taken a lot of time, and I hope, this has made sense to you. But these are based on certain very beautiful and sweet memories that Bhagwan gave us. And, he allowed us to be there in Prashanti Nilayam and to see and watch as he conducted his many different activities. I'll stop with that and turn it over back to you, Brother Girish.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. I'm reminded of what Saint poet Annamacharya said, "Enta matramuna evvaru talachina anta matrame neevu." As much as we think of God, as we pray, that is what we receive as blessing. I mean, like Swami said innumerable number of times, I am your friend, I am your mother, I am your brother. Take me into any relationship, I will fit into it. So he is given the convenience of even choosing the form and the relationship to ourselves, whatever is convenient for you. And he said he will fit into that. No, go ahead.
No. It's so beautiful what you said, and you so spontaneously said that Annamacharya's Kirtan, I think it is, because I also remember Swami singing that many times, and it is very touching.
On another occasion, I'm reminded there was a question answer session between Swami and students. There was this question: Swami, what is that we should all pray for? And then I think you beautifully put it in. Swami said, the best prayer to ask Swami is to ask that let my will prevail. I think we should all just sit and pray, just like you said, in silence, that let your will prevail, Swami. And then Swami said he will.
Yeah. And like he told Sundar Iyer, when Sundar spoke once in Kodai, Sundar said, and Swami acknowledged that the voice of God is heard in the silence of your heart, right? So when he was taking Namaskar, Swami said, when you are silent, then God can speak. So Swami but God doesn't speak in any language, because if God were to speak, then that would not be silence, right? God would be breaking the silence. So we have to explore the reality of this new dimension that Swami has opened up. And it's not a serious thing. It's a fun thing, but now is the time when we have to grow into that. The caterpillar has to become the butterfly.
Exactly. Thank you so much for your time, for sharing this valuable experience with us and taking us on this journey with Bhagwan today. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Sai Ram.
Over to you, Brother Girdhar.
Sai Ram. It's truly an amazing sharing, Brother Ravi.
Thank you.
We may hear, see things, and read a lot, but as you said, internalizing the message is the most important thing. And that's where the true learning happens. And thank you for sharing that. The three gems that you shared today from your own personal life, OIK, obedience is the key, and BTCCC, Bhagwan takes care continuously and constantly. Similarly, true transformation is the goal, permanent transformation. And that happens only, as you said, with complete surrender to Swami. When you put everything at his lotus feet and surrender with intense prayer and trust, then ultimately the connection will happen, and that is a true transformation. Thank you again for sharing all your personal experiences. And Brother Girish, thank you for bringing that calmness with your unique style of moderating. As always, thank you so much. And we are eternally grateful to Swami for training his messengers in the form of students and sending them to all around the world so we can have this great fortune of listening and learning. Thank you. Next part of the program is the devotional offering. But before we start that, I would like to share that there is going to be a very special program in recognition of Ishwarama Day that's going to be aired on May 10th. Please stay tuned for more details. Saira. Thank you.
ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्। 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 ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात्।
गजाननं भूतगणादिसेवितं कपितजम्बो फलसारभक्षितम् उमासुतम् शोकविनाशकारणम् नमामि विघ्नेश्वर पादपङ्कजम्। भजो गणनायक गजवदना भजो गणनायक गजवदना मंगलदायक शुभचरणा मंगलदायक शुभचरणा भजो गणनायक गजवदना सिद्धिविनायक शिवनन्दना सिद्धिविनायक शिव चितचन्दना आनन्ददायक चितचन्दना बुद्धिप्रदायक जगवन्दना बुद्धिप्रदायक जगवन्दना भजो गणनायक गजवदना मङ्गलदायक शुभचरणा भजो गणनायक गजवदना सिद्धिविनायक शिवनन्दना आनन्ददायक चितचन्दना बुद्धिप्रदायक जगवन्दना बुद्धिप्रदायक जगवन्दना भजो गणनायक गजवदना
दीनानाथा साई गुरुनाथा दीनानाथा साई गुरुनाथा प्रेम स्वरूप शांति प्रदाता प्रेम स्वरूप शांति प्रदाता दीनानाथा साई गुरुनाथा जय जय गुरुदेवा सच्चिदानन्दा जय जय गुरुदेवा सच्चिदानन्दा शशिवदना अलङ्कृत केशा शशिवदना अलङ्कृत केशा सुन्दर साई आनन्ददायी सुन्दर साई आनन्ददायी शशिवदना
तुम सत्य साई भगवान। हे निराकारी अल्लाह, हे अवतारी प्रभुरा, तुम ही हमारे माता पिता साई, तुम ही हमारे माता पिता साई, तुम ही हमारे प्राण, तुम ही हमारे प्राण। जन्म जन्म मेरे साथ रहो तुम सत्य साई भगवान। नानक यीशु बुद्ध महावीर, नानक यीशु बुद्ध महावीर, सब है साई भगवान, सब है साई भगवान। जन्म जन्म मेरे साथ रहो तुम सत्य साई भगवान। जन्म जन्म मेरे साथ रहो तुम सत्य साई भगवान। हे निराकारी अल्लाह, हे अवतारी प्रभुरा, जन्म जन्म मेरे साथ रहो तुम सत्य साई भगवान। हे निराकारी अल्लाह, हे अवतारी प्रभुरा, तुम ही हमारे माता पिता साई, तुम ही हमारे प्राण। नानक यीशु बुद्ध महावीर, सब है साई भगवान। जन्म जन्म मेरे साथ रहो तुम सत्य साई भगवान। जन्म जन्म मेरे साथ रहो तुम सत्य साई भगवान। हे निराकारी अल्लाह, हे अवतारी प्रभुरा,
Allah
साई हमारा हम साई के ऐसा प्रेम हमारा, साई हमारा हम साई के ऐसा प्रेम हमारा, साई हमारा हम साई के ऐसा प्रेम हमारा, साई राम हमारा, साई राम हमारा, साई राम हमारा, साई राम हमारा, ओ साई राम हमारा, साई राम हमारा, साई राम हमारा, साई राम हमारा। हिंदू मुस्लिम सिख ईसाई सबका पालनहारा, 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 साई राम हमारा, साई राम हमारा, साई राम हमारा, साई राम हमारा। सत्य साई है नाम तुम्हारा, शिरडी साई अवतारा, 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 साई राम हमारा, 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 साई हमारा हम साई के ऐसा प्रेम हमारा, साई हमारा हम साई के ऐसा प्रेम हमारा, साई राम हमारा, साई राम हमारा, साई राम हमारा, साई राम हमारा। हिंदू मुस्लिम सिख ईसाई सबका पालनहारा, सत्य साई है नाम तुम्हारा, शिरडी साई अवतारा, साई राम हमारा, 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 साई हमारा हम साई के ऐसा प्रेम हमारा। अल्लाह अकबर, अल्लाह अकबर, अल्लाह अकबर, अल्लाह अकबर, अल्लाह अकबर, अल्लाह
हरे स्वामी सत्य साई हरे भक्त जना संरक्षक भक्त जना संरक्षक भक्ति महेश्वर ओम जय जगदीश हरे शशिवदना श्रीकरा सर्वा प्राणपते स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपते आश्रित कल्पलतीका आश्रित कल्पलतीका आभस्वानः ओम जय जगदीश माता पिता शांति 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 समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् अशीमवहु वहिष्ठेमस्ति उष्टास्ति उष्टाहमये शतशाय वहिष्ठायशि नमो तस्सा भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्स बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि श्मा इस्राएल अदोनाय एलोहेनु अदोनाय एहा अदोनाय thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. La ilaha illallah, Allah, Allah. 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 Saishwaraya vidmahe Satyadevaya dhimahi Tanna sarva prachodayat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Paramam pavitram Bhava vibhuti Paramam vichitram Leela vibhuti. Atma ishtartha moksha pradhanam Bhava vibhuti Nilavashrayami. Sacred, holy and supreme is Bhava's vibhuti. Pouring forth in brilliant stream His way of vibhuti. So auspicious is its font, it grants liberation. Bhava's vibhuti, its power protects. Sai Baba's vibhuti, its power protects me.
Sai Ram, thought for the day. Desire breeds wishes. Wishes create birth and death. The next birth is the result of unfulfilled desires in this life. Those who have no trace of desire for material objects can achieve the awareness of the Atmic reality. In fact, the desire to know God, to love God, and to be loved by God does not bind. When awareness of God dawns in all its splendor, every worldly, sensual desire is reduced to ashes in the flames of that awareness. The individual self will turn towards the universal self as soon as desire comes to an end and the self delights in supreme peace, Paramashanti. The self must break off all contact with non-self so that it can earn immortality. You are a heap of thoughts. Your thoughts play a vital role in shaping your life. Hence, watch your thoughts and carefully welcome only good ones. Spiritual learning, vidya, stabilizes good thoughts in the mind and thus rises to the status of knowledge of the supreme reality, Atma Vidya. Divine Discourse, April 14, 2006. Sai Ram.